Number one, I'm just reminding you guys that Geshe Michael's coming to town. May 1st through 3rd, there's going to be a teaching during the day on the 1st, sponsored by the Three Jewels at a public school that's nearby. There's information about that. I'll find that later. But also, we want you guys to come to the 3 nights of teachings as Yoga is a Road to Love, which is up at Pure Yogi East on the Upper East Side. And it would be sweet if you guys could pre-register at yogastuddiesinstitute.org for that. It's going to be really amazing. It's going to be really beautiful, and I highly recommend that everyone comes to that. Also, there is a party fundraiser happening. I'm going to read you about it. It's for the retreat this summer with Lama Marut and Lama Lindsay Krause and Lady Cindy Lee and Lama Rick, and it's just going to be a huge, crazy dance party in a nice, really nice industrial space with awesome music and lots of drinks, a party, not a fake yoga party. You can get wasted.
With correct view.
With correct view. You gotta do a correct view. And that is April 30th at 139 Christie Street. And there will be flyers out about that and stuff. But that's going to be really fun and a really joyous way to support a really beautiful retreat this summer. And also, Danielle brought to my attention and some other people's attention that Geshe promised that for all the people who were in 3-year retreat, that he would come and periodically spend time with them and be in the retreat psalm with them and just kind of send out his light bubble to help him out. And, so they built him a cabin, but then he took all of his money that was supposed to be for furnishing and finishing, and he just gave it to the other people so they could finish their stuff. So we got an email from Rebecca Vinacore, who's really close to Geshe Michael, and she is wondering if anybody can just donate 5, 10, 20, whatever, 100, 200, 1,000, $1,000,000, just to make Geshe-la's cabin really sweet and pimpin' and stuff. And you can just send it to a PayPal account to RebeccaV@gmail.com. So that's a really sweet way to maybe Topra for yourself in the future.
Awesome. And get Sam.
Make a quick announcement. Saturday night here, we're going to show Gandhi the movie. So, yeah, and if you saw the flyer on the Three Jewels site, it's Gandhi spelled wrong. But 7 o'clock here, we'll have pizza and snacks too. A suggested donation is $7 when you watch an incredible film. It's about 3 hours long. And we'll throw the cushions and blankets everywhere, all over, and we'll project it on that screen up there, and it'll be really awesome. So if you don't have plans, you really come hang out with you.
The movie night here is really nice. You there?
That's about it.
Okay. But you're being invited to come and hang out together. There's a nominal reason for that, and there's probably some other strange reason for that, which we can't talk about because it's secret. I just made that up. It is a good idea. I just made that up. It's not authentic teaching. Yeah? I just need to clarify that. But check it out. There's opportunity. So I still do, but I used to get crappy about stop asking for money. Money for what? Why did Geshe give away his money? Now I'm gonna help him. Yeah. Party? What's boring? A party? What I'm saying is, once you realize what these things are intended to do, you can use them to open up your life to a different way of experiencing and being together. There's something weird about you all being together. and not a different group of you being together here. Yeah? And connected to that strange group of yous over there. The movie night, for example, is a great opportunity to go and state, if you want things to change, you need to change your things. That's why it was like, oh, I wish it didn't sound so trite. But you know, if you really want your life to change, you need to do something different to get a different result. So go and hang out in a space that's uncomfortable. I mean, I'm doing yoga, come on.
Are you?
That's weird, you know? Yeah, I'm trying. But things shift when you are doing something else. Your mind, the experience of the world, is forcing you to have a different experience. Yeah? So when you feel resistance, when you feel like out of your comfort zone, you want out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone will just push you to death. Slowly, with a little few flowers in between. Serious. Yep. And then your dad appears in a wig. That's a result of something else. So let's, in the next 20 minutes, talk about I highly encourage you to get involved with any of those things. For those of you who have an advanced practice, I don't need to explain it to you, why those things are appearing to you in this particular way to help Geshe. So you could think of Geshe Michael Needs Furnishings, or you could think of an incredible being on this planet who somehow figured this out in Sanskrit and Tibetan, remembers it by memory, blurbs it out over 5 years onto a course that you could easily study and do exams with, and that has the potential, if you apply it, to utterly transform your life. And depending on what I was going to say belief levels, the stretch of your mind, whether or not you can become perfect, whether you believe that or not, and you got any of those 3 lumps inside of you, this being that needs furnishings, is the reason you are hearing anything today at all in your language with your analogies as a Western person in this building called the 3 Jewels. With, unfortunately you get this, with someone like me delivering it, so that might not be such a good thing. But the fact that being over there is helping 30 people who not only began by sitting in a room like this trying to figure out renunciation, what the hell's bodhicitta, and what's correct view mean, but these beings have gone for 3 years in my entire life. I think I've got enough information now, having studied this 5-year course and more, to see if I can sit in a room by myself for 3 years and become a Buddha. Imagine that depth of character that says, I think I can do that and I'm going to try. So there's at least 40 of them trying. Yeah? And if you know any of them, you should feel a sense of awe about what they're doing. I mean, I saw mothers saying goodbye to daughters as if it was the last time. This, in a way. In a way, it will be. Right? Correct. Mm-hmm. Imagine the strength of character and conviction you must have to say, I'm sick of it so much. Doesn't matter all the nominal happinesses I get, they turn. It's not about the car. It's not about the relationship. There's something else. And I think I've had an opening into that intellectually that I've got to feel a little bit. And I'm going to figure it out for 3 years. I'm going to sit and do a practice that lets me touch it, so I can help my mum. So those beings would not be doing that, wouldn't feel that sense of strength were it not for Geshe Michael. So you could look at it as you need some furniture, or you could look at it as your efforts, you're working, you're earning some money, you're thinking about it, is actually letting that being relax in a couch for a minute as it helps those 40 people get realized. And depending on how you think about it, is the result you're going to get. So it's not about the money. It's not about the couch. It's an incredible opportunity for you to try something new about your experience of being. It's awesome. But still, I used to think what a pain it is. So, in 10 minutes, 3 qualities of a good student. We talked about the 3 bad qualities of a student in is it the first course or the second one? I can't remember. The first one, wasn't it? First one. Yeah, which I never taught you, but it was in the homework. And there were the 3 problems of the pot, right? And it's not it's the other pot. There's more than 3 problems with that pot. What are the 3 problems of the pot? The lid's closed. What does that mean?
Not receptive.
It's an analogy that a student isn't open or isn't listening to
Yeah.
the teaching.
Yeah, so it's just like closed, you turn up because, I don't know, you think you're going to get a girlfriend or something. Yeah? But you're not listening to what the Lama's teaching. Yeah? Or the teacher's teaching. What's the next one?
It's dirty.
Dirty pot. Yeah, so the pot is dirty. What does that mean?
Not noble motivation.
Your motivation isn't as high as it could be, let's say. It's like the motivation I had at the beginning. It's like, I'm going to pick up if I know Tibetan Buddhism. You know, how you use it as a pickup line. Hey, I'm a Tibetan Buddhist person. Obviously it hasn't worked, right? I had the wrong view about that. But you know, you think you're going to get status or you think you're going to get something. And your motivation isn't pure about why are you listening. So if you started thinking differently about the couch and you went to a space where you felt, that sounds like something I want to do, then your motivation just shifted, right? From helping with the money or the couch to you touched a place in you by processing it differently that you had a higher motivation. If you thought about your mum, if you thought about bodhicitta in a depth at all in the last 2 hours, then you touched a place with a higher motivation. Cause and effect. High motivation will give you a higher result. It's simple. And the last is I forgot the last part of the pot. That was a joke. That was my very good joke. The leaky pot. You know, so you can't retain it. And I thought a lot about that. You know, do you think you are a leaky pot about information that you get? And not just in Dharma, although this is the 3 problems of the pot for Dharma, but are you like that about names and things at work and whatever? And I kept thinking about that, and for years I've been wrecking my mind thinking, I use it as a Catholic stick, you know, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a bad, I can't remember anything, yeah? And it just serves to continue to program my mind to normality. What this means, the leaky pot, is that you're just not making enough efforts for your capacity to try and retain the important things. If it takes you writing out a list 20 times for you to remember, write out the list 21 times. You know?
They look very...
You know, like sitting there and like Geshe can hear something and he just got it, you know? That's a different kind of person. I tried to think of... what I'm saying is, whatever it is that it takes for you, if this is really applicable information, then you should put some effort to retain it and then internalize it. That's all. That's why the homeworks are quizzes. They're just tools. They're not, you pass. You don't pass. No one outside of you lets you pass. You let you pass. None shall pass. That's a Monty Python. So the 3 qualities of a good student come from commentary of the 400 verses on emptiness by Ayurveda. And they are, down there, say Surne, Loden, Dungye, or Dungye Wa, sorry, Nyen Po No. Beautiful. So Loden is, sorry, Surne is corner stay. You've been studying.
No, I'm reading off the page.
Oh, you cheated. Awesome.
Instead of the page here while I'm sitting here, but
Cool. It means stay in the corner stay. Keep a neutral position. It just means that you stay open-minded. Yeah. Don't come to class thinking you've already got a position about this, and you're judging if you've qualified your teacher and you've qualified the Dharma, be open-minded, because if you're stuck, you need something to unstuck you. Yeah? So your mind needs to be of the open-minded, the opposite of the pot, right? Of an open-minded nature. Can you challenge your thinking? So for the older students, that's harder, because you think you know. And you do, to some degree. But there is always the possibility that you're going to hear the one word that will turn things around for you. And so if you have surne, open-mindedness, that qualifies you for part A of being a good student. You then need loden, which is, this is interesting, loden. You let the intellect rule your behavior. In essence, it means you're intelligent. It means you're intelligent, but not as in a clever way. It just means you figure out how logically how things could possibly have come to be this way. You get some intellectual knowledge, and then you get some intellectual understanding, let's say, of emptiness, how emptiness works. What is emptiness? You start building up your knowledge on the lack of inherent existence in a thing. The old lady isn't painful from her own side. She's not my dad with a wig. She's also not the angel. Yet she is the man with the wig, and she is the angel. So you get some intellectual understanding by saying, if she was annoying from her own side, then every being, including Sam, that looked at her must be equally annoyed with what she says, how she looks, and what she points at. And he wasn't. He was
I
laughing.
didn't even understand what she was saying.
Exactly. She spoke Spanish on top of it, right?
So fast.
So the thing is that if the annoyance came from her, if the offensive quality came from her, then everything that looked at her must experience the same offense. The fact that people don't, including herself, watching herself, she thought she was funny, yeah, means that she does not possess that nature in and of herself. The fact is that the annoyance was projected onto her from me. If you can logically get that, and it's so simple, you've got to hear it 1,000 times, it's so simple, we never consider it. If a thing has a nature of its own, if it's spewing forth nature towards you, then you must all feel the nature of that thing, exactly the same, if it's coming from the thing. The fact that you're experiencing that very same thing, entirely different, means what? Who's experiencing it?
You.
With what flavor? Whose flavor?
Yours.
Belonging to whom? Created by whom? Why not me? Because if it did, you would all feel exactly the same thing. Yeah, and I know that, well, except for my jokes, which I know you all like. That was a joke. So this intelligence, the second quality of a good student, means you will get an intellectual understanding of a thing, like emptiness. You might also get it of karma and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah, as we studied this dharmas. And then you will get a movement that realization, or that understanding of emptiness, that logical understanding of emptiness, means you will begin to believe that you must live life in a moral way. If things are empty, produced by your actions in the world, and things don't have, that lady did not have an inherent existence, and that horribleness came from me to her, then something in me caused that, not her. And then you must go against eons of programming, cultural behaviors, the things that are in our DNA that says, because she was shitty to me, I have to be shitty to her. You have to go against that. That's intelligence. Working off your intellect to go against your programming because you understand how things function intellectually. And then you must have the resolve and the strength of character and that intelligence to trust your logic, even if it goes against eons of programming. If something I dislike, I push it away. In fact, that causes it for you to dislike it later. Once you get that understanding, so an example of that intelligence here means you get a realization, you get an idea, you grow it intellectually, then you must, with intelligence, work against the normality of the world for you to change that world. That's a good student, a diligent student, a person that says, I got something, it's not the way it appears, I have to go with that. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's so important. Let's see if you're just bucking your programming. And that's loaded. Say Dunyarwa. And this means you can keep to a higher goal. You have a higher wish. Yeah? You have a vision on a higher thing. Nominally, it means you have some level of renunciation about, you know, it's not in the car and the jewelry and the boyfriend and the girlfriend and the career, and you want something more. You want something deeper. You have this drive that lets you go against all the pitfalls. And for those of you who have, well, I'm assuming if you're in the room, you've had some kind of spiritual investigation. And I don't mean in the traditional spiritual as in religious, I mean in your own spiritual development. You've had some attempts to figure out the world. And you know that as soon as you go into that space, you must to some degree deconstruct the old thing that came. You must break down the assumptions that came to that space. That deconstruction, that breaking down, that challenging hurts. It's painful. It can be painful. You will fall over. You will scrape your face. This Dunyarwa means you can keep to a higher goal regardless of those things. You still keep going because you know it's not in the car and the girlfriend and the boyfriend and the thing. That just keeps flowering and turning off. 150 years, not a single being on the planet will remain looking for happiness in the nominal things. New clothes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Versace. So that makes a proper vessel. So a proper vessel for the Dharma. So we've qualified what a good teacher is. We qualified what kind of stuff they're teaching. So who is being taught or who is learning? That you becomes a proper vessel for the Dharma if you're open-minded or impartial, like open to hearing in a new way, intelligent about the way you're hearing, and aspires to higher goals. And then you move that goal higher and higher and higher. Do you really believe that you can become a person free of suffering? If you can change 5 degrees now, you can change 10. And then you can stay at that 10 degrees and you can change 5 degrees, that 10. You have an unlimited potential for change as a mind and as a body. It's just that your body is changing without your control. It's just that your mind is changing without your control. You haven't figured out, I haven't figured out how that is. The 3 lungs get you there, is what this is saying. And that should be the end of class. So, before we finish, do we have any questions? I want to talk about your homework.
I think it's the last one.
Yeah, the last one.
The third one? Nyenpo Nu means a proper vessel, a proper vessel for the Dharma. Yeah? Sorry, so it's because the sentences are reversed. The 3 qualities are Surne, Loden, and Dunyarwa. Yeah?
So it's Nyenpo? That's how it would be written in. No, that would be in the Sukha. Proper vessel to hear the Dharma.
Yeah.
That's the good student.
That's proper vessel to hear the Dharma. Yeah? Like a good pot, as opposed to the dirty pot. Thank you. So yeah, Nyen means proper vessel. Tonu means to hear the Dharma. Thank you for asking. I'm sorry, go on.
Letter I on the 10 here.
Oh, thank you so much. I missed out one of the 10 things, right? Thank you very much, Michael. And that was letter I. Yeah, and I believe it was the pramanas. Yeah, pramanas, which is education and understanding of how things come to be, your perception. It's a study on perception. So that's in the tenure. Yeah, that's letter I. We discussed pramana, and we'll get. We just did it at John's class. When did we do that? How karma works. We talked about pramana.
Course 4.
Course 4. Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible when you start deconstructing how things appear. You realize that the way we've been going around the world is totally upside down, utterly upside down. And when you can turn it the right way up because you understand it logically, you grow it in your heart, then you have some power within your control to shift your experience of this place. It's incredible stuff. They pose such questions that we never ask in Western world about how is perception being experienced by whom? How is it that it appears that way and not this way? And that you could see from the lists upon lists upon lists that they're way more detailed than we were taught at school. High chance. Chance is going to get a present. Should we do a public present? No, actually,
Yeah.
no, we'll do it after.
We'll talk about it.
We're talking about it. And we've just had 2 hours where you've had an opportunity to dive away from your normal way of thinking, hopefully. Yeah? Unless you were a leaky pot, dirty pot, or a closely pot. So think about it. If you had any kind of movement inside of you, if you got to connect with that part of you that says, maybe I can do something of importance in this one precious life we have before we finish. And if I can do some goodness with that, that's an incredible virtue that if you allowed yourself to go to that space today. With caution and with thinking around it and analysing and the rest, that's healthy. But you've done an incredible thing. We're wasting our time out in the rest of the world looking after cars and jobs and things. They've produced good nominal results. I'm not saying don't do those things, but the way we do those things can shift. If you've spent in the last 2 hours any time at all visiting the space in you that allows you to be free from suffering and experience ultimate bliss, and if you've been able to imbue with that, with feelings of compassion for other people who are blindly lost in seeking happiness and things that will make them unhappy later, then please wish that it goes and touches them. Think of the people you love. Think of, your equivalent of my dad with a wig. Think of someone and then figure out that everybody is like that. And so whatever goodness you've done today in your thinking and your talking and the rest, genuinely imagine it touches somebody that needs it. Some lonely person gets a phone call, some mother that misses her child gets to connect with them, some lover and finds a lover, some hungry person finds food. And it's imbued with that feeling you had today. At the very least, you're going to feel a sense of happiness. At the very least. There's no harm in doing something like that. So as we do this, that's the purpose of doing that. Dedicate it, spread it out, and the last thing is dedication. So here we go, Sam. mandala kamyatayami
Kiwa
Dirgyogu Sunam Yeshe Tsokshin Sunam Yeshe Legendway Tampa Kuni Topasho. Visualize that being atop your head, getting smaller and smaller until they're a tiny dot of light, entering the crown of your head and traveling down just in front of your spine to the level of your heart. Let them reside there with every good quality that you can imagine and carry you through the rest of your day. Thanks for coming. The other thing is, Geshe Michael is going to be here in May. Geshe Michael got the 14 verses, which we haven't covered. We haven't started reading yet. We actually touched on it today, some of the content in the 14 verses. We haven't even looked at the text we're studying, right? So Geshe Michael got the lung. What's lung mean? Transmission or wind. Yeah. So he got the wind from his Lama, Khenso Rinpoche, who got the wind. Besides getting these teachings like you're getting them, there's something magical, something special that happens when you actually hear it from the lips of the person that heard it from the person that heard it from the person that got it from the Buddha. Yeah? And because we're extremely fortunate to be part of the lineage of the Dalai Lamas, and they've kept such meticulous records, all of the Tibetan lineages have actually. It is the purest form of Buddhism existing on the planet today, the most complete, that has this record of the lung being transmitted to you. These things entering your mind stream from the voice of the beings who's either realized it or heard it from somebody who's realized it directly. So there's something magical that continues that stream. I would like to suggest that since Geshe Michael has had the lung from Ken Rinpoche, from Trijang Rinpoche, who got it from Pabongka Rinpoche, and you know who that is, yeah, because we started on class 1 on it. If all of you would like to get the lung from Geshe Michael, I'm going to hopefully see him next weekend, and I'm going to ask him directly that if in any of these events that he's in New York, he could spend 15 minutes to give this class the lung. It just means that we have to go to wherever he's doing, and we need to supplicate and ask him, please give us the lung. Yeah? Because then you actually have the 3 principal paths in your mind stream through your ear from their wind, coming from their teacher all the way back. That would be an incredible beginning to your intellectualizing or study or practice of any kind of wisdom. So what I suggest is we start inundating him with requests. So if you are planning to help him get a couch, yeah, put a little caption on, would you also give us the lung? Yeah, so say you're studying ACI 1, you can go to his Facebook page. I haven't thought this through, yeah? Obviously, yeah? There's a couple of options. Let's workshop. Llamas and alpacas, all of them. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, see, there's something special that happens in your heart when you request it as well, yeah? So when you request it, think about it. Think if you want that, then we should gang up on him and ask him to please give us the lung. And there should be some opportunity, yeah, if we request well enough. So we can do a couple of ways. We can, or all the ways. We can inundate his Facebook. If you know Rebecca, if you know Jigme, if you know anybody, you can just send them a request. Yeah, yeah. You can go to his house, knock on the door. You can send them a letter, or we could write something. We could pass around at next class, because then after that I'm going to go and see him, and we can put it all in an envelope, and feel free to put flowers and presents or whatever in a box, and we say, can you please give us the lung? Yeah? No, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, I think that would be incredible.
Yeah.
You haven't thought this
Yeah.
through, have you?
Yeah. No, go on.
That was a pretty good offer. I like that. That's a good
Well, it touched me a couple of times. Yeah, so think about that. Go and do that. What's the story with that?
Well, he has some. We'll talk about it.
We will talk about it. So
separately.
it's not happening.
Well, it is, but it's not.
Not now.
We're just not right
Okay.
this second.
Fair enough. Okay,
It's
so
still happening.
thank you so much for coming. I am so impressed, really. I thought we'd get down to 10 people or something. Yeah, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to share these incredible things.
Thanks for teaching.
Thank you.
Really?
It's
This Sunday.